Hey kids! Just a real quick video. I just thought since we're in the shopping Christmas season, if you have somebody on your Christmas list that likes to read and you're not sure what to get them, I just thought I would share my 10 favorite books. Maybe that can help and you can share some of these books with someone that you know might be interested, or pick one up for yourself. Now, one thing I do want to point out is this is my 10 favorite books. I'm not going to make it into a 10 favorite Clive Barker books, because I am quite a fangirl of his. So these are different kinds of books that I read, but these are the kind of the top ones that I really like. So the first one I just want to share with you is Weaveworld. So that was the first Clive Barker book I've ever read. So I'm just going to read the back pages of these and just kind of give you an idea, but I'm not going to actually review it or anything. For Weaveworld, it says, in Weaveworld, a prosaic Liverpool clerk named Calhoun Mooney falls into a magic carpet. He has entered the cursed and enchanted Weaveworld of the Surkind, a people with the power to make magic or to destroy humanity. Yeah, and that's pretty much what it's about. So, awesome book! Need to check it out. So that's my number, actually, I guess that would be number 1. The next one, number 2, would be Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. Love this book too. Basically the story is Richard Mayhew is a young man with a good heart and an ordinary life, which is changed forever when he stops to help a girl he finds bleeding on a London sidewalk. His small act of kindness propels him into a world he never dreamed existed. There are people who fall through the cracks, and Richard has become one of them, and he must learn to survive in the city of shadows and darkness, monsters and saints, murderers and angels, if he is ever to return to the London that he knew. So another really good book, number 2. Number 3, this is actually a play, but I really like it a lot. It's called Exit the King by Eugene Ionesco. Probably said that wrong, but there we go. So this one, I mean, if you're interested in reading plays, this is a really kind of interesting one. So basically the back page here says, Exit the King is a highly stylized ritualistic death rite depicting the final hours of the once great Berenger I. In his throne room, surrounded by his 2 wives and a few other members of the decayed court, Berenger inexorably moves towards his death, first discovering, then rejecting, and finally accepting its inevitability. As the monarch dies, his kingdom dies with him. His armies have been defeated, the young have emigrated, the seasons change overnight, even the borders of the realm have contracted until the throne room is virtually the whole of the kingdom, and Berenger has lost all ability to command. Throughout the play's action, Berenger ages, becoming old and infirm. The courtiers disappear, the furnishings melt away, and at last the king himself is dissolved into a gray mist as the curtain falls. Very cool book. Very cool play. I actually got to do a, just real quick, a monologue for yet again another theater competition from this, and it's really cool. It's very kind of surrealist kind of thing, so if you're into that sort of thing. Anyway, number 3 is, this is another author that I'm like really crazy about. I buy almost all his books, but it's Jonathan Kellerman is the author. The book is Monster. This is the first one I ever read of his. I picked it up in the airport when I was going on my first East Coast trip. So this book is a second-rate actor is found mutilated in a car trunk. Then a psychologist at a Los Angeles hospital for the criminally insane is murdered in a similar grisly fashion. Suddenly, the incoherent ramblings of an inmate at the presumably secure institution begin to make chilling sense. They are, in fact, horrifying predictions. Yet, how can a barely functional psychotic locked behind asylum walls possibly know which vivid details of crimes committed in the outside world? Drawn into a labyrinth of secrets, revenge, sex, and manipulation, Dr. Alex Delaware and Detective Milo Sturgis set out to unlock this enigma and put an end to the brutal killings before the madman predicts their own demise. Just real quick, one of the reasons why I like this book, Dr. Alex Delaware, Jonathan Kellerman is actually a psychologist, and he does Dr. Alex Delaware as a psychologist. So it's kind of interesting how it works out. So this is another good book. This is number 4. Number 5 is Cloud Atlas by David Mitchell. Might have seen the movie. Very cool book, very interesting. I'm just going to go ahead and read the back here. Let's see. Just want to make sure says what it needs to say, not just a bunch of I thought I was going to say something in the back. About the story, but it just looks like it's a bunch of testimonials to, just how wonderful the book is. So, I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to look, and it's like, I didn't realize it didn't really have anything. But, I mean, we'll just put this, one of the little things it says here. It's just a postmodern visionary who is also a master of styles and genres. David Mitchell combines flat-out adventure, a Nabokovian love of puzzles, a keen eye for character, and a taste for mind-bending philosophical and scientific speculation in the tradition of Umberto Eco and Philip K. Dick. The result is brilliantly original fiction that reveals how disparate people connect, how their fates intertwine, and how their souls drift across time like clouds across the sky. So very cool. And the movie's kind of cool too, but if you see the movie, read the book before you see the movie, because if you don't kind of understand what's going on you're not going to totally understand what's going on in the movie. I mean, you'll get it eventually, but it'll take some time. But if you read the book first, it makes a whole lot more sense. So that's number 5? All right, so next book. This one is Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and It's All Small Stuff by Richard Carlson, PH.D. So simple ways to keep the little things from taking over your life. This is actually normally at my bedside. So this is really good just to remind yourself that, let's remember what's important and what's, don't even really worry about. Just let it go. All right, so this is a very good book. So that's number 6. Number 7, The Places That Scare You by Pema Chodron. A guide to fearlessness in difficult times. There's an excerpt, excuse me if I could talk today, on the back here, and it says, our personal attempts to live humanely in this world are never wasted. Choosing to cultivate love rather than anger just might be what it takes to save the planet from extinction. What is it that allows our goodwill to expand and our prejudice and anger to decrease? This is a significant question. Traditionally, it is said that the root of aggression and suffering is ignorance. But what is it that we are ignoring? Entrenched in the tunnel vision of our personal concerns, what we ignore is our kinship with others. So that's just a little excerpt from it. So a very good book too. Another one that's on my bedside normally that I read from time to time, just to remind myself of those things I just don't want to deal with, and that you need to deal with it. So good book. All right. What was that? Number 7, I think. Yeah. And then so number 8 is Eat, Pray, Love by Elizabeth Gilbert. So this one is in her early 30s, Elizabeth Gilbert had everything a modern American woman was supposed to want. Husband, country, home, successful career, but instead of feeling happy and fulfilled, she felt consumed by panic and confusion. This wise and rapturous book is the story of how she left behind all these outward marks of success and of what she found in their place. Following a divorce and a crushing depression, Gilbert set out to examine 3 different aspects of her nature, set against the backdrop of 3 different cultures: pleasure in Italy, devotion in India, and on the Indonesian island of Bali, a balance between worldly enjoyment and divine transcendence. Very good book as well. You might have heard about the movie. The movie's good too, but the book is actually a little bit better, as normally that always works out that way. Just real quick about this book, why I just really, really love it is actually, I was going through the exact same thing the minute the movie came out. And that's what tripped me out. I was just like, everything that she went through and kind of was that I did too. So it's kind of like a profound movie for me. And then I actually read the book as well. And again, saw myself definitely in her shoes, same kind of thought process. I just didn't go out of the country, to kind of find my little profound transcendence. But still, very interesting book. So that was number 7, I think, right? No, 8. All right. The next one, number 9. Anatomy of the Spirit. The 7 Stages of Power and Healing by Myss, PH.D. So, let me see. Again, it's a bunch of authors, great. Whatever. Okay, so there's this big long thing. I'm not going to read the whole big long thing. But one of the things it talks about, I'll just read kind of the last paragraph sort of thing. The Anatomy of the Spirit also presents Dr. Myss's long-awaited model of the body's 7 centers of spiritual and physical power, in which she synthesizes the ancient wisdom of 3 spiritual traditions: the Hindu chakras, the Christian sacraments, and the Kabbalah's tree of life. With this model, Dr. Myss shows how you can develop your own latent powers of intuition as you simultaneously develop your personal power and spiritual maturity. As you begin to understand the anatomy of your spirit, you will discover the spiritual causes of illness, as well as how to sense and correct an energy imbalance before it expresses itself as physical illness, and how to recover emotionally and physically from an illness you may already have. By learning to see your body and spirit in a new way that draws on old truths, you can begin to develop a spiritual maturity and authority that will change your life. So, very interesting book. That's all I'm going to say on that one, but that's number 9. And then lastly, number 10, This is The World According to Mr. Rogers, Important Things to Remember. So another bedside book. So this has an excerpt on the back from the book, and it just says, if you could only sense how important you are to the lives of those you meet, how important you can be to the people you may never even dream of, there is something of yourself that you leave at every meeting with another person. So kind of goes into my last video on that we're all kind of connected, and that the whole I was talking about in my other video, the no self, be yourself video, just that being the culmination of everyone that you meet and the experiences. So this kind of goes along with that. So this is my number 10. So these are my top 10 favorite books. So hopefully these can be useful for getting somebody a Christmas gift, or certainly comment, let me know what your favorite books are. Especially, definitely let me know what your favorite books are, because actually you might have read a book that I was like, oh, I never even knew about that. So I would definitely like to hear about that. But yeah, this is just a really quick video that I just kind of wanted to do. And like I said, because of Christmas, just kind of wanted to share kind of the books that I've read and so forth. So at this point, I'll just say happy shopping. And I will look forward to seeing you, and or certainly interacting with you in my next video. So for tonight, I will just say take care and see you next time. Bye.